The year 2025 dawns, a landscape irrevocably altered from a decade prior. The old world order, once dominated by a few established powers, now faces an unprecedented challenge. Global power is no longer a static concept. It is a fluid, ever-changing tapestry, woven from economic might, technological innovation, and strategic influence. The rise of new economic powers is undeniable. Asia, in particular, has cemented its position, with economic giants like China and India driving unprecedented growth and innovation. Digital economies and advanced technological sectors in various nations are now critical determinants of global standing, fostering innovation at an exponential rate. Africa, once seen primarily as a resource provider, has transformed into a continent of emerging markets and regional economic blocs, wielding significant influence. South America, rich in natural resources and developing industries, also carves out its niche, contributing to global supply chains and economic diversity. Traditional Western economies, while still powerful, grapple with adapting to this multipolar world, innovating to maintain their competitive edge. Global trade routes, both maritime and digital, have become strategic corridors, with nations vying for control and influence over these vital arteries. Military alliances are reforming and strengthening. New pacts emerge, challenging the established order and creating complex geopolitical landscapes. The role of traditional defense organizations like NATO evolves, adapting to new threats and expanding their scope to include cyber and space security. Cyber warfare has become a primary domain of conflict, with nations investing heavily in offensive and defensive digital capabilities. Space is the new frontier for military dominance, with satellite networks and anti-satellite weapons becoming critical components of national defense. Nations are pouring resources into advanced defense systems, from hypersonic missiles to AI-powered autonomous weapons, reshaping conventional warfare. Regional military buildups and proxy conflicts are common, as powers test boundaries and project influence without direct confrontation. The global competition for rare earth elements, vital for modern technology, intensifies, leading to strategic resource hoarding and trade disputes. Water scarcity emerges as a critical geopolitical factor, driving conflicts and diplomatic efforts over shared rivers and aquifers. The struggle for traditional energy resources like oil and natural gas continues, despite the push for renewables, ensuring their strategic importance. The race for dominance in renewable energy technologies, from solar to fusion power, shapes economic landscapes and reduces dependency on fossil fuels. Food security becomes a top national priority, with climate change and population growth making agricultural land and sustainable practices invaluable. Control over strategic maritime choke points and land bridges becomes crucial for economic and military projection, intensifying naval rivalries. Regional hotspots simmer, fueled by historical grievances, ethnic tensions, and the competing interests of global and regional powers. Diplomatic efforts and international organizations strive to mediate conflicts and foster cooperation, often struggling against the tide of national interests. These power shifts profoundly impact ordinary citizens, influencing migration patterns, access to resources, and the very fabric of societies. The future remains uncertain, a complex interplay of power, resources, and ambition. No single nation holds absolute sway, only relative strength in a dynamic world. The new world map of 2025 is not a static drawing, but a living, breathing entity, constantly redrawing itself with every economic boom, military pact, and resource discovery.